R. Baldwin Arena.
Just making sure I can get it right. We are back. We have Liberty and Charleston, second night of the event. We are joined by Matt Roberts, the Charleston AD. Matt, I want to start with this. So you were instrumental in being able to get this event off the ground and make this event happen and have the Field of 68 tip-off get going. What was the reason behind the push to be able to make sure that we can get this done?
I think it's just the landscape of college basketball nowadays, especially in the mid-major space. It's hard to get quad one, quad two games, and you have to really front load your schedule because once our conference schedules begin, those opportunities are few and far between. So you really have a limited window in November, December, but it takes partners in order to pull something like this off. So Coach May, Coach McKay share the same philosophy as Pat, and with those coaches' cooperation, it turned into this, and now it's a 3-year deal. And administratively, it's great because that's 2 games for the next 2 years. I don't have to worry about scheduling. The coaches don't have to worry about scheduling, and you're going to have quality competition.
So this event is great in theory, and then you sit down and you put together the schedule, and you have to go to Pat Kelsey and say, hey, guess what? I got you a game on the road at the number 13 team in America. How long did it take him to convince him that was a good idea?
Fortunately, Pat's the kind of guy that he's so busy and so his mind's all over
Get him
the
at
place
the right
that
time.
he says yes right now. Earlier this week, he texted me and Brian Cloman on his staff, who runs the scheduling along with me, and he said, remind me next year that I'm going to be a little bit more involved in the scheduling process. Because we started off the season, day one, we hosted Iona, and we've been gone for this as a 7-game road trip that we're on. We'll finish with 5 games at home in December, but Pat finally realized, look at the calendar, like, damn, we haven't been at home since the opening day. When are we getting back home? But he knows that these are the games that put you on the map, that help you nationally, help build your team for March, and that's why we're here.
Kels did such a great job last year. We never expected that.
Right.
It's a historic year. And then after the season, you sit down and you lock him up long term. What was that process like in terms of making sure you could keep him as long as you can keep him?
Well, we actually started the process in December, so well before the 20-game win streak, before we were ranked. He has great representation. We stayed in constant communication. So I can remember we had a home game on MLK Day, and I met with his representation then, so mid-January, and we started the process then. So it was well before,
He's got like 8 agents. He's got like 8 different agents, doesn't he, Matt?
Advisors, right?
That's
Advisors.
Right.
Friends from Cincinnati, right? But
Mac might be one of them soon.
Yeah, who knows?
He's not doing anything else.
It'd be a great way to make some money. Yeah, get in the mix.
Matt, I've known Pat since he's been in 4th grade, and I don't know if the world really knows how great of a coach Pat is. Obviously, an historic run for your school last year. What are those qualities that make Pat such a good coach?
Well, the best thing with Pat is, as an AD, I don't have to worry about my phone ringing at 2 a.m. And that all starts with the culture he builds, the kids he recruits. Not only are they talented basketball players, but they're about the right things. And things he learned from your mentor, Skip Prosser, that he tries to embody with those kids on a daily basis. Whether it's a donor walking through the gym, those kids will stop, come over, nice to meet you, thank you for everything you do. It's the quality of the product we put on the court is duplicated by the quality of kids that represent it.
So the advent of NIL in college basketball is something where we hear about it a lot at the high major ranks. You guys are in a good position with NIL. How has it changed the way that you do your job as the AD?
Well, you fundraise differently, right? To the extent that we're allowed to with the NCAA and their regulations and restrictions when it comes to NIL. Thank God we don't have football. That's first and foremost, right? I mean, you see Twitter right now and starting quarterbacks and what they're, apparently garnering in the open market of NIL. Basketball simplifies us a little bit. Where we're located in Charleston helps. And then it's a priority.
Did you know
for
Goodman's
Pat.
going to Charleston?
Yeah, apparently. So Pat's going to hit him up to be a part of our collective and try to get some of that high-paying money that the Field of 68 pays us.
Hey, Rob, speaking of NIL and quarterbacks, how much would Goodman have earned as a quarterback NIL after those passes last night?
I threw
the football 65 yards.
I want to see it.
He can throw a football 65 yards.
No, I threw the basketball.
Listen, last night made half court.
I threw the basketball further than this dude.
Made it to half court, I heard.
No, I made it almost baseline to baseline.
No, he made it past the logo.
Torn rotator cuff waiting to happen.
We'll see after the game. You stick around. I don't know if my elbow can handle it, but listen, the biggest question I have for you is, do you have a good dog sitter for me?
I've got a dog myself, so yes, I do have a couple of dog sitters.
I mean, this is like huge.
100%.
This is a game changer.
We got
I
you
just want you to know that.
We got you covered.
Now, Matt, listen, the hospitality that he showed, that Kelsey showed, and it was funny. I was telling this story earlier, but I hadn't really been around Pat Kelsey for a while, right? I mean, I knew him when he was younger, when he was an assistant. So I go to the first practice last year when I get there, and I'm like, holy shit. This dude's energy is out of control. It is at a level that I've never seen before of any coach I've ever been around. I get out, I walk out of the building. First thing I did was call Mac. I go, Mac, is this real? Like, is this real? And what did you tell me?
What did I tell you?
100%.
Yep.
Like, he's like that all the time. And I'm like, how could his wife deal with that much energy all the time?
That's why I said Lisa's a saint. His kids are patient as hell. I don't know how they do it.
It's
but
amazing,
That's
though.
who he is. He is who he is.
And
he
you know
doesn't
what?
change. It's not a show.
He made that team, like, in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
that team's not that team without his energy, his intensity, his positivity, but again, he'll jump guys when he needs to. And this team also, and I want to get your thought on this, how much do they miss Dalton Boland's toughness, edge, everything he brought to the table? How much do they miss
Leadership,
that?
all the above, right? I think Ante really misses that, and he and Ante were really tight. And I think there's some adjustment right now for Ante personally going through that, not having, that big brother kind of kicking his ass every day in practice and in the locker room and all that. But I think this team's learning themselves. They're learning their roles. Even our returning guys are learning their roles. And I think that's one of the challenges of the transfer portal is the roster's rolling over. And it takes, Rick Pitino, I think, said it a couple weeks ago when they played a game in Madison Square Garden. You have to be a little more patient. It takes a while for these teams to gel, and you don't really get a true chance. Yes, you have the close scrimmages and things like that, but you don't really get a good chance to get in battle and try to figure your roles out until the season starts. So you just got to take it a little more patient. Last year's team was so special. I mean, those guys, they were
so
plug and play.
fun.
They were fun to be around.
Yeah.
This team's fun to be around. They're different.
Yeah.
We may be more talented in some, but we have that. We don't have those characters. And that,
The hard
that
part
edge
too. The hard part too is, as you said, like, it takes a little while, but you have to win those games to be put in the at-large conversation. So you almost don't have the time to be able to build that team and figure it out as a mid-major, because if you don't win some of the big boy games, you're relying on having to win your league tournament.
And the good thing is next year we lose two players. We have two grad seniors, so it'll be the first time since Pat's here that he won't have to go and completely rehaul the roster, assuming the transfer portal doesn't bite us. So you never know, right?
Well, the last thing that I got for you, Matt, is as you watch him kind of put together this roster this schedule where you have all of these games that you are playing away from home. These are not necessarily bye games, right? A lot of schools at that level need to be able to fund certain athletic department things, certain basketball roster things by going out and making these bye games. How helpful is it for the way that you schedule that you don't necessarily have to do all that?
Well, I think we're fortunate just because we're a program that has a little bit of history and we're good. So we're smart about who we play. We do home and homes with some A-10 schools. We have Rhode Island and St. Joe's coming to Charleston.
Watch out for them.
I know they're playing,
Watch out for them.
Playing really, really good. They have really good guard play, and what a heck of a win that was at Villanova for them the other night, which is great. It excites me.
Good for you.
Because now they're coming to our arena. We get to go return to theirs next year. The Kent State home and home is great. We had a 2-for-1 with North Carolina the past couple years. Same with Oklahoma State previously. So the lure of Charleston helps. The history and tradition of our program helps. But getting bought is even more difficult for schools like us now. Going and playing at a Power 5 and getting paid to do it, people don't want to necessarily pay you money and have a tough game at home.
No one wants to pay $90,000 for a loss, right?
So it makes events like this that much more important. I think us as mid-majors that are really aspire to put our programs on the national stage, we need to continue to work together, be creative, be collaborative, have home and homes, have neutral site games like this, because at the end of the day, if we don't help each other, we sure as hell aren't going to get help by the Power 5.
Yeah, well, listen, Matt, we appreciate you jumping on with us. We appreciate your efforts in being able to make sure that the Field 68 tip-off happened. Awesome. I can speak for all of these guys. We've had a blast down here. I can't wait to see your team play here. I can't wait to see the Cougars play. And my best advice is when he starts becoming a pain in the ass down there in Charleston, right? Just tell his wife he needs to go home.
Hey, he was the good luck charm. He was the good luck charm last year, so we're ready for him to get him back. Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks for the opportunity.
Appreciate the time. All right, let's flip this forward, Matt. Charleston's turning over their roster. A lot of new pieces. How difficult is that as a coach to have that many new faces in your program?
Well, Matt talked about it. It's a challenge. A lot of times, when you have a returning team, it's a lot easier. Guys sort of understand what the program's about, the day-to-day operations, how you practice, terminology. I don't care if you're a transfer, I don't care if you're an incoming freshman, the terminology is going to be different. Certain programs require certain things, certain head coaches value things over others. So it's a challenge. You have the summer months, but here's the thing, there's a lot of coaches that don't feel like installing plays in their system in June and July because you're going to have to keep the kids' attention all the way, hopefully, through March. So you've got to sort of piecemeal it. You want to do a lot of player development in the summer. Kids are excited, they're improving, but it's a challenge. It's not going away. So many teams I watch, it's like I don't recognize half their roster from the year before, and that's sort of what it is right now.
What's the most important thing of that? Is it getting someone to buy into and understand who you are as a coach? Is it getting them to understand the sets that you want to be able to run and the way that you're going to call certain things? Is it just getting them to like each other?
I think the most important thing is what Matt said, and that is on the front end, what type of character are you bringing in? You bring in a kid that doesn't want to listen, has been to 17 high schools, and it's going to be really tough for him to conform and say, hey, I'm going to be a system guy and do this over the course of 3 or 4 years if he has no history of doing it. Yep. So I think the most important thing is the character of the kid that you're bringing in, talent aside, so that no matter what you're preaching or teaching, they're buying in. They want to get better at it, they want to develop it. And then hopefully you have older players that have been through it that can also mentor those young guys. It's called regenerative learning. Tony Dungy was a big believer in
Where did you learn that word?
Tony Dungy's book. Older players sort of teaching the habits to the younger players. So you had more than just the 3 assistant coaches. You had a whole host of coaches of guys that were players.
Yeah. You want to talk about keeping a guy around a program. Kyle Rode has been at Liberty for 5 years. He's gotten better every step of the way. He's married. Goodman was amazed by that, by the way, the college player that's married. We were able to catch up with Kyle earlier today outside of his hotel on the beach in front of the palm trees, and he's a really, really likable kid. Let's cut to that interview now.
All right, now here with Kyle Rode of Liberty, and I know you're coming off a tough loss last night, but that FAU team, they're really, really good. You got a short turnaround here before tonight's game against Charleston. What did you guys focus on?
Yeah, I think when you play a team like FAU, a lot of the problems you had was because of them. So just trying to find solutions, acknowledge what happened. Coaching staff does a great job of really just taking it is for what it is. There's a loss against a great team. Now we have a tough challenge against Charleston tonight.
I love what you've done in this program. 5 years, and every year you've gotten a little bit better. What's it been like to grow through the Liberty program?
Yeah, I think coming in my freshman year, I was a freshman on that team that went 30-4, had the run against Mississippi State, so I'm kind of that bridge between that generation of Liberty and just trying to build that foundation now. So Coach says it all the time, we're a team about the process, and when you guys got guys that can stick around and play at such a good program like Liberty, you start to see some of those developments when we get into your 3rd, 4th, even 5th year.
So they call you Cap?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know if it's because I'm the captain or just in the weight room we put up some weights, kind of like Captain America, but a little bit of both.
What do you put up?
Oh, whatever Coach Hornet puts on my sheet. That's what
you got to do it?
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
You're a Lexington, Kentucky kid.
Yep.
I assume Kentucky saw you play plenty. What was it like growing up in Lexington and again, going to Liberty?
Yeah, 100%. My grandpa would take me to a Tuesday night game, and it'd be John Wall versus whoever. You know what I mean? On a Tuesday night, you see Anthony Davis on a Thursday against. So it's just the basketball in that state's a different level, right? And so just growing up in that and really cherishing those memories, and then being able to play at a high level program like Liberty's been a blessing.
You're the old guy on the team.
Yep.
Married.
Yep.
Married. Congrats.
Thank you.
How long have you been married now?
I've been married 2 years now.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, so it's not even like getting newlywed or anything like that on the honeymoon.
No, we've been dating since we were 13. So we brought her to Liberty, got her to Lynchburg, and
that's big time.
Worked out.
That was the biggest pickup you made here so far.
100%.
What's it like again being a 5th-year guy coming back for one more year at Liberty? I assume it's one of those where you love it enough that
why not take advantage?
100%. It's so different from the guys you played with freshman year that you came in with, and now you're kind of that guy that they look up to in different situations. Even having guys over at the house with my wife coach or just something like that, it makes you feel a little older. So it's definitely unique, man. I wouldn't change it for anything.
Last one, new league, Conference USA now. I know you're still in the heart of the non-conference schedule right now, so you're probably not thinking about it too much. Obviously the goal, get back to the tournament, right? That's what you want to do. And it's a different team without Darius McGee. Yep. You're getting a few more, more touches, more touches now.
Yep. I think so grateful for our transition into CUSA, and I really think it just amplifies, hey, you really got to be locked in on how you prepare day in and day out, how you execute. You even see that last night. The higher quality team, the margin of error shrinks. Yeah. So we know that, and think we have the team to do it.
All right, well, we're here in Boca. It's not bad, right? Not a bad event.
Not bad.
Right? We got to, maybe come back next year?
I'll be there.
You have another year?
I'll be there.
Any more eligibility?
I wish.
All right. Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah,
appreciate it, man.
Welcome back to the pregame show here, Field of 68 tip-off. Baldwin Arena. I didn't do it, Mac.
Good. Thank
Baldwin
God.
Arena here.
Comes
Boca
out a little
Raton.
quicker that way. Otherwise, it takes them like 10 minutes.
Yeah, at least.
Right?
At least 10 minutes.
I mean, come on.
It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. Listen, let's talk about this game. Let's talk about this matchup. We saw Liberty last night. Liberty did not play great. We were talking with Richie McKay earlier at lunch, and he was basically said to us, guys, look, we're not as bad as we looked last night. And we were like, yeah, we understand. We know that was more FAU than it was Liberty. Mac, how important is it coming off of a loss like they took last night? I think it was by 25 points. Could have been by 35. To bounce back, have a good performance against a good, albeit young, Charleston team.
I mean, it's really important, especially if you're going to talk about at large and you have to win this game. It's not a must-win in terms of the type of season that they're going to have. But again, when you don't have that many opportunities, as Matt Roberts talked about it before, you get to conference play, you're not just rattling off quad 1 and quad 2 games. It's going to be awfully difficult. So a game like this on a neutral floor for both teams, although Charleston still has FAU tomorrow night, for both teams, it's pretty big.
I mean, to me, again, like Charleston's got to get right. They got to make shots. They didn't make shots early. For Liberty, it's one of those, again, you don't want to leave here with 2 losses. You want to split. And again, you know coming out of that game last night, hey, you know what? That's an elite team. We're probably not supposed to win that game. This one, you think, hey, you know what? I know what you're going to say as a coach, right?
No. What I'm going to say is both teams are feeling that, because it's going to be a dogfight tonight.
Right.
Charleston.
He knows what
tomorrow night.
Right. So this is one.
Center last night scouting. They know who they play tomorrow night. This is going to be a war.
Right. No, you're right. I mean, it means, and again, it's not like we're saying
make or break.
Because again, both of these teams, I think, understand at this point, it's going to be awfully difficult now to get in that large bid. Okay, the odds are not with either of these teams, but what it does is it allows you to get some momentum going into the second half of non-conference action, to whereas then you can get some momentum going into league play.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back here, Field of 68 tip-off. Are you a college basketball junkie? Are you the kind of fan that gets frustrated that this beautiful sport has such a lack of national coverage outside of the month of March? Well, let me tell you about the Field of 68, an all-encompassing digital network of podcasts, live streams, and newsletters that cover the sport at every level on every platform. From the bluest of the blue bloods to the smallest of the mid-majors, the only way to keep up with college basketball is through the Field of 68.
In the first Field of 68 tip-off, 3 of the preeminent mid-major programs in the country, 3 of the best coaches. November 30th, Liberty versus FAU. December 1st, Liberty versus Charleston. December 2nd, Charleston versus FAU.
3 up-and-coming programs come together in a very, very creative entity.
There's a reason we're called the Field of 68, right? We want to cover all of college basketball.
We are calling it the Field of 68 tip-off.
We're back. Field of 68 tip-off. We got about 5 minutes here before we're going to get ready to head to this game. Charleston taking on Liberty. Liberty took the loss last night, so I want to hit you guys with this. Who does this mean more for? Liberty got smoked last night, but they played great at the Myrtle Beach Invitational. They won. They got 3 good wins there. They were 6-0 heading into last night. Charleston's the exact opposite. They're coming off of a win at Coastal Carolina, a win at Kent State after losing 3 in a row in their MCE. So, Mac, who needs this win more tonight?
I think if you polled both coaches, they'd say they both need it more than the other. But, for me, it's probably Liberty. And I don't know if it's necessarily a win, but obviously Richie wants to come out here feeling a lot better about his team's performance. They ran into a buzzsaw last night. If you go 0-2 in both games, you don't feel like you played very well. You're not feeling great about going home for 5 straight games. So I think Liberty really needs this to feel a lot better after how they felt last night.
I'm going Charleston just because they didn't play well coming out of the gates. At least if you're Liberty, you won Myrtle. So you've got that already. So you're feeling pretty good coming out of Myrtle, winning those 3 games, which were good wins. Charleston kind of came out of the gate slow. So I'll be the devil's advocate here.
No, I'm gonna
argue with you just
as much as I hate myself for what I'm about to say. I think I got to agree with Goodman on this one because Charleston, if they lose this game, are sitting at 3-4, and their next game is going to be a road game against the top 13 team in America. So you're staring at 3-5 in the face before you even get to Christmas, and that's a lot, I think, to overcome. All right, real quick, we got about 2 minutes here. Key matchup tonight.
I think it is, Kyle Rode and Ante Berzovic. Like those 2 bigs, and as Matt Roberts was saying,
do you like how we just took the low-hanging fruit right there? What's the key matchup? The 2 best players going up against each other.
Well, they're both bigs.
Power forwards, big guys,
They're
skilled.
Right.
It's
tough, and they're both tough, skilled, kind of underrated, under-recruited dudes. Listen, I remember sitting with Ante. He had no offers coming out of high school. He had to go JUCO, I think, and then had nothing there. Like, people back home didn't think he'd ever be able to play college basketball, and now he's one of the best big men in the CAA right now. So he just needs to be a little bit more, again, of a leader, a little bit more vocal. They're missing that. They're missing a little bit of that.
Yeah. I got one for you, Mac. I think that the key for this game is going to be how Liberty's guards deal with the size of Charleston's backcourt. Liberty's got 5'9", 5'10", starting in their backcourt in Matheny and Porter. So to me, it's going to be how those 2 kids deal with the size of Charleston's guards.
Issue last night, and obviously FAU's got not only size but some athleticism. Their guards were penetrating deep into the lane, but nobody was helping off. They didn't have the ability to finish over the size, and so it was sort of like drive in, stop, reset the offense, and that can't be the case if you're really trying to generate shots by drive and kick. And so it's going to be a big key, I think, for tonight, like you're talking about.
Night 2, Field of 68 tip-off. We are going to be live at 11 o'clock tonight right here in these same seats for the Field of 68 After Dark after UConn goes into the Fog Allen Fieldhouse and beats Kansas. Right, Mac? Right, Mac? Back me up, Mac. Come on. Back me up.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, back me up.
Really?
How
dumb are you?
If you're ready to watch Charleston
go against
take on
Self?
Liberty,
94.8.
if you're ready to watch Charleston take on Liberty, head on over to Flow Sports. 6 o'clock, it's going to be live over there. Tomorrow night, we are going to be live again, 5:30 pregame show. Me, Goodman, Matt McCall. Mac is ditching us. He's going to bail on us. He's like, you're a 2-night thing with Goodman, right? Once you get to day, once you get to day 3 with Goodman, it's too much. Trust me. So for Chris Mack, for Jeff Goodman, Field of 68 tip-off. We're firing it up right now.